Hello everybody, I'm Arielle and this is
Thomas!
Woohoo! Today we're going to be learning side star. So I know that you guys have already been practicing your half moons. Cute. Hopefully we are making sure that we keep those cues that are going to make this easier for us to put this on top of a human. Without those, sorry, I don't know what your previous lesson was, so I feel bad. But without those very important cues such as flyers, we're trying really hard to keep those hips from rolling forward. So we want to be here in our half moon. We also want to keep note of where our feet position might be. We don't want it to be too far behind where we're slinging behind. We don't want it to be too high up where it's really hard on our core. We just want to make sure we have a nice half moon pose. So we're missing those cues. It might be a little hard on a human, but let's hope that with those cues being perfect, we can make this a lot easier. So what Thomas is going to do is going to help me get into this, and we're going to get in through kind of like a shift kind of motion into this. Nothing too big and shabby, but first things first, we're going to help our base down.
Thank you.
Of course. Now bases. You're going to place your foot kind of right below the hip crease. And how do I find a hip crease? Well, flyers, you can literally just bend over. The point where the crease is happening, the base is going to be slightly up under it. Flyers, I want you to place your position slightly in front of the base's hip. You're going to turn your toe towards its hip, but kind of have your body shoulders centered forward. With this being said, you're going to present your hand to the base, and the base is going to present his. We want to make sure we have a nice support here from our base. If not, shoulders are just going to drop. That's not going to feel too good for us. The other thing that we want to make sure as a flyer, is that we are not just bending our arms. We want to make sure that we're giving a nice, strong structure here, leaning. As I start to lean, notice that my back foot is starting to lean with me. Everything falls into one straight line. To go into the side star, what our base is going to do is slightly bend his knees. As he absorbs, I'm continuing a crease here. Once I get to the point of no return, where I'm like, this is my half moon pose, I'm going to shift just a little bit towards the base's, my left side, but the base's outer side. I give it a tiny shift, the base is then able to lift up. One big cue to keep in mind here, yes, you can see that my arms are slightly bent, anatomies are different across the board, but we do not want to have a deep bend. I'm actively giving a nice consistent push to match his push. Once we're up and we're feeling stable and I have a nice half moon pose, the base will then guide my hand to his knee. One thing I want to keep in fact, we don't do anything on joints in acro. So if you feel that you're on a knee, either go slightly above it or slightly below it, whichever's more comfortable. Once again, anatomies are different. Once we're here, try to go through your checkpoints. Are my hips in line? Are my toes and my legs in line? Pretending like I'm in the middle of a toaster. You know, I don't want to touch the edges of the toaster because then it'll burn me. Staying here nice and strong, my base has me stacked on his center of gravity. And to come down, very simple. He's going to slightly bend his knee. I'm going to look for the ground. He's going to give me a little push and I'm going to stand up. How did that feel?
Spotting?
Oh, spotting. Yes, we need to be safe. So, think about your spotting. If we hit a half moon pose, da-da-da, I want my spots to be either spotting at my hips. Actually, I want them to stay at my hips. Just in case I start to roll forward, oh, spot help. A spot is there to help pull me back to show me this is where you need to be. In case I'm too far down, spot can help by touching my leg and slowly pushing it down just a little bit to tell me, oh, you're a little bit too high. Same thing for going backwards. Spot is there to save me at all times. Very simple spot. The biggest thing that I want to make sure people keep in mind is that you want to ease into this nice and slowly. Anything too quick, you're not going to understand where the error is coming from. But if everything is nice and slow, you can almost feel, ooh, we're a little quick on the beginning and we were too far over his stack, or I'm not leaning enough. Keep it nice and slow so that way you can pinpoint where the error is coming from. But until then, happy acroing.
Nice. That's awesome.